Hi, welcome to VR for Work. My name's Rick, and I'm the host here at VR for Work. Today, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. And no, I'm not talking just about using the Lumi avatar, which we've started using a few shows back as the platform for recording our shows. But we're going to change our format up a bit to try to help condense and keep the videos shorter, while still giving you the same quality information that you come to VR for Work looking for. And so with that in mind, let's jump in today and talk about Moot and LearnBrite. Moot and LearnBrite, the reason that we're doing two platforms here is that these two platforms are actually based in the same DNA. They're both by the same primary developer and company, and share a lot of the same underpinnings in regards to how they provide a platform both for meetings and for learning. So let's dive in and take a look. So what are they? Well, Moot, or Moot Up, is a 3D immersive web-based platform designed for meeting, collaboration, exhibitions, and events. And it's for large scale events. You can scale this up to thousands of users in the Moot platform. Then you have LearnBrite, also a 3D immersive web-based platform, and it's positioned as an authoring tool for learning and training, and really there to engage and track learning within the 3D environment. But again, both MootUp and LearnBrite use the same functional and foundational underpinnings in how they work and function. So if you're versed in one, that very easily translates over into the other one. All right, so what platform does it run on? So this is one of those new generation of immersive apps that run in any modern web browser. Right, so on the 2D, you can run it on any modern PC, Mac, and even on a smartphone. And in 3D, or immersive technologies, it will work on Windows Mixed Reality, a Valve Index, an Oculus, or a Vive, or any headset where you can get to a browser that will run the WebXR and the LearnBrite and Moot plugins that are required to make that work in the browser. Okay, so who is this for? Well, these are no-code environments. So these are for organizations and builders who don't necessarily have to have any programming skill set, but builders will need to be technically oriented. And I wanted to put that in just to differentiate that this is not something that you would give kind of a non-technical builder to go off and set up a meeting space or a learning scenario. These folks will have to kind of know their way around some of the jargon and processes to know how to start building these things from scratch. Organizations that will need repeatable training scenarios and meeting spaces. And we'll get into this a little bit later, because as you're watching the scenario running on the screen right now, where this is using the LearnBrite platform to walk a user through preparing a radiologic exam, right? This is something that can be set up that users can go through repeatedly, or a number of users one at a time, so that they can learn this process. And then for Userbase, we're primarily on 2D because organizations right now are not ready to put dozens of headsets out for folks to participate in meetings or to do learning, but there is this recognition that we are moving in that direction. So LearnBrite and Moot both work on that 2D large scale rollout for most of the organization, while organizations can take time to move over their user base into more immersive 3D headsets. Okay, so how do you use it? Well, again, you utilize these 3D spaces, like you're seeing again, this radiologic exam room here, and then build on top of that according to need. So the 3D environment can be static, and LearnBrite Moot both have a large library of those, or you could bring your own into the space. And then you can add 3D objects and images and documents and videos and screens like the screen you're looking at now. That's kind of an indicator that's tracking the actions of the user to help guide them to know that they've checked off all the boxes in getting this room and patient ready for their exam. You can build interactive scenarios and guidance using bots, and we'll talk more about the interactive bots in a bit. And then you can track those interactions and responses with a gamification engine that's also part of the LearnBrite platform. What benefits do you get by using it? Well, again, you can reach users on multiple platforms and devices. You can build interactive bots. So you can see that, again, in the scenario running in front of you on the screen, we have avatars or intelligent bots that are participating in this scenario that the user is walking through. And these bots are given tasks or intelligence enough to be able to respond or guide a user through a set of steps or a scenario or a process to help ingrain that training into their minds that they're participating in. They can build a repeatable, easily updatable learning module. So I work in healthcare, and I know that standards and requirements change frequently. So you might build this particular scenario here, and the user might have to do various specific steps to get the patient ready for this exam. And then in a year, a new standard could come out that you need to go back in and add, and that's easily updatable. And then you can run your users through it again to reinforce that learning and knowledge. And then meeting platforms can integrate into common video conference systems. So while you can set up a Moot room that maybe you're bringing in 5 or 10 folks from the PC desktop, you can also invite speakers or other folks who may have to join from Zoom or WebEx or Skype into those rooms easily when they may not be able to or familiar with coming in to a Moot room. Okay, so what's the secret sauce? Well, number one, LearnBrite has an excellent learning academy. And this covers Moot too in terms of setting up meeting spaces, but it walks builders through how to build on the platform. I mean, it's got a lot of step-by-step documentation about how to do things. And I'll give you an example of that in my demo video in just a moment. The avatar builder has millions of combinations. You can see you've got the nurses and the radiology techs. And so the combination of not only physical attributes, but clothing and headdress and shoes and just literally millions of combinations to build your avatars and bots to suit and meet the need that you are trying to address. And then the interactive capability of the avatars so that these can be smart avatars or smart bots that are there with a singular purpose to walk a user through or guide them along a process. So whether you're setting up a meeting, a booth in MootUp to do a demo that you want staffed 7x24 that you want to put out on the web and have people be able to drop by and get a demo and ask questions, you could literally build that in MootUp with bots that are there to help assist people who drop by in a very interactive fashion. Or again, as we're seeing here on the screen, you can have these intelligent bots that are there to play roles, whether it's the doctor, the nurse, the aide, the radiology tech, and take very specific actions based on the user interaction with them. So this is really, really a powerful, powerful tool. All right, so let's take a look at the demo I made. So I went into the LearnBrite and I signed up for the 30-day trial, and I played around with it and went through the Academy. Now, what you'll notice is that I picked this 3D setting that LearnBrite has available to users. It's the atrium outside a conference hall. And there are these podiums. And so I had this idea, I was going to set up the VR for Work video conference hall. And so each podium, I put a bot there that would explain to the user what they're experiencing. Now, there's not free locomotion available in Moot or LearnBrite. You'll notice these blue hotspots on the floor here, and that's to guide the users. These are very guided processes. And then as a user would come up to a bot and click on them, you start an interaction. And so my guest would come up, I'd click on the bot. Now you can't hear this, but the bot is actually verbalizing, and that's one of the millions of choices you have is even down to the accent of the character, how do you want them to speak, right? And this just helps build in the engagement you have with the person who's actually speaking to or interacting with the bot. And, you know, so it's not all one repetitive voice or sound. Again, it's, you know, you can have these folks sound like they're from the UK, the US, Ireland, the Mideast, Asia. So you really do get that diversity of experience and exposure that you might be looking for in terms of developing your process. And then each of the bots is guiding the user what to do next. So there was the greeter, and then this bot is introducing this particular video, and the user can go up to the video, click on the video screen, video starts playing, they can kind of get that information, start and stop it as they want. Now, I didn't go through the trouble, but one of the thoughts I had is if I were really building this and I was going to put it out there for users to come experience VR for work, I would probably after each video panel have a little short knowledge test to just see what they learned from the video and reinforce that, or maybe set another bot up that they could converse with about what they heard. In this case, again, and this just took me 1 week and maybe 8 hours of going through the lessons and then playing with the various capabilities that LearnBrite gave me in terms of bots and materials or content that I could bring into the hallway and populate with different video content. And so this is just me walking through the hall, interacting with the bots, play the video, walk down the hall some more. And again, there would be a couple of more interactive things that I could do. But I could see how this is so much more engaging than sitting and watching a PowerPoint. And believe me, I have sat and watched my fair share of dry PowerPoints and then taken the knowledge-based test afterwards. This is just, you know, I don't know, 10 times more engaging and interactive than that. You know, I'm actually kind of conversing. I know it's not, you know, a real person back behind there, but again, at one level in my mind, I am interacting with an individual, and it does pull me in just a lot more. Okay, so you get the hint of how that works. So what's the total cost of ownership? Well, for Moot, you can jump in and get a basic level account for free and actually start using it on a regular basis, up to 5 participants in each meeting, 40-minute limit on the meetings, and then just play around with it and see how it works. But for those who are really serious and really are looking to leverage these large scale conferences and meetings, you need to reach out and talk to Moot about the cost for those types of plans. And then for LearnBrite, you can see here a single author scenario where you get all these different virtual reality ready, branching dialogue, universal avatar engine, drag and drop 3D editor, all these things, tying it into SCORM system so that you can track scores or outcomes from various learning exercises. All of this gets thrown in at $99 a month. And then if you go up to 3 authors and then 10 authors, depending on how big your business is and how much you scale. And then each of those is also tied to a number of training calls, conference participants per room, and built-in conferencing minutes that you get per month. So you can go on the web and look at that more closely and reach out to LearnBrite depending on your level of need. Some additional resources that are out there for you. Danny Stefanik is the CEO and founder of Moot Up and LearnBrite. You can follow Danny out on LinkedIn. And very recently, there is a podcast called the Digital to Learn podcast. And on episodes 58 and 59, they interview Danny. Very, very interesting stuff. Very smart guy, obviously, and something you might want to go check out. Okay, so in times of great calamity and confusion, these have been the greatest times, have been productive for the greatest minds. The purest ore is produced from the hottest furnace. The brightest thunderbolt is elicited from the darkest storm. Right now, with COVID and pandemic, right, it may seem like a very dark and difficult time, but it is a transition time. And it is a time where we get to see technologies and platforms like immersive technologies like we're talking about here with Moot and LearnBrite really show an opportunity for those companies that are innovative and not afraid to change it up, to still have an opportunity to meet, engage, collaborate, train their staff in a way that is engaging and works well. So I hope you'll check that out. Thanks very much for joining us. Thanks for coming by, and we'll see you in the metaverse. Bye now.